Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining this session. My name's Mark Wilson. I'm the chair for this session, where we'll be engaged for the next few minutes by Ian Thompson from Next, and the subject is keeping the mainframe relevant at Next. Ian's going to talk to you for probably about 15-20 minutes. It's not going to be a full hour session. This. Any questions you have through the session, could I ask you to pop them in the chat window for us, and I'll moderate those questions and reply if I can. If not, we'll get I'll speak to Ian as we go through, or hold them to the end. So Ian, with very big thanks for taking this on for us. Over to yourself, and we'll catch up right at the end. Thank you, Ian.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to session K9 called Where Next? Keeping the Mainframe Relevant at Next. I'm Ian Thompson, and I'll be talking to you about how we're keeping the mainframe relevant at Next in the modern world of the internet, cloud, and robots. Don't forget to enter the raffle after the end of the session if you haven't already done so. This year, the conference is supporting the Royal National Lifeboat Institution and Guide Dogs for the Blind, both good causes. So who am I? I'm Ian Thompson, a domain architect at Next Technology. I have 39 years experience in IT. I started a trainee COBOL program at Hetmas in Leeds. I learned COBOL by watching videos presented by Tony Bastable and Pam Rhodes. I don't know if you remember them, a Magpie and a Songs of Praise TV presenters. Nothing has changed in the last 40 years. People still watch videos to learn coding. They just do it online, not on VHS tapes. I became a project manager for the Next for retail SOC system, and then led the year 2000 project. In recent years, much of my time has been focused on what could be called mainframe modernization. So who are Next? Hopefully most of you will have heard of Next. Many people will know Next as a British fashion retailer with its headquarters in Enderby near Leicester. We have over 500 UK stores, and people also know us for our website, Nextco UK in the UK, and NextDirect.com for international. NextDirect.com is available in over 130 countries now. Majority of sales are now online. That was true before the pandemic, and is even more so now. Stores are still important, though, in the modern online world. Prior to the pandemic, 49% of online orders were picked up from stores, and 83% of returns were dropped off at stores. Foss Park West, which is the store in the picture, is one of our latest stores. It opened earlier this year, replacing a smaller store nearby. The not so obvious side of Next is as an aggregation business. This draws on all our assets: stores, warehouses, depots, delivery networks, systems, marketing, credit facilities. We sell hundreds of brands as well as our own through our website. We have warehouses with robots and automated cranes. In the furniture warehouse, the cranes are amazing. They can pick up a whole van body and transport it around the warehouse, Thunderbird style. We have a sophisticated website, but the mainframe is still at the heart of all this, whether it's warehousing, online ordering, or credit. All orders go to the mainframe. All stock movements are tracked and recorded on the mainframe. When a customer picks up or returns an order in a store, it's all checked in real time against the mainframe. So how did we get here? It all started in 1864 when J. Hepworth and Son opened as a gentleman's tailors in Leeds. In 1981, Hepworth bought a Leicester-based women's wear company called Kendall's. The year after, in 1982, they relaunched it as Next. In 1986, we bought Grattan for their expertise in home shopping. They were a traditional mail order catalogue company. Using their systems, Next launched their own catalogue in 1987. Next Directory. This had many revolutionary features for home shopping, including the promise of 48-hour delivery. Now remember, at this time, mail order usually meant 28 days, so that was pretty amazing then. In 1991, Grattan was sold, but Next retained the directory systems. Since the mainframe was located at the Grattan head office, Next had to get their own mainframe. After various options were considered, we migrated to IBM at Warwick. The final piece in this story is the launch of the website in 1999. That history laid the foundations for what we have today. The ordering system evolved from the original Grattan 1980s system for telephone orders. When placing an order on the website, Behind the scenes, there will be several MQ messages exchanged between the website and the mainframe order system. For example, each add to bag checks and updates stock balance on the mainframe. There are then regular picking runs throughout the day to drive the picking process to ensure the short same-day picking. All the way back from Hepworth days, Next has traditionally taken the view that designing and delivering great IT systems is an intrinsic part of being a great retailer. Over the years, we have written almost all our major applications in-house, from tills to websites, warehousing to buying, merchandising, business reporting, call centres, stock allocation, and much more. Of course, we buy in some software packages, either to deliver specialist functions such as the AI behind our website search engine, or for generic functions such as payroll and general ledger. But it would be as unthinkable for us to contract out our core operational systems as it would be to contract out designing our clothing ranges. It may come as a surprise to many that we now employ as many people in our technology teams as we do in our buying and merchandise departments. This is indicative of just how important technology has become to the development of Next business. By contrast to the in-house written applications, the legacy of the sale of Grattan was that the mainframe hardware is outsourced. The benefit of this has been that it has released us from the capacity constraints of traditional on-premise machines. Over the years, IBM, now called Kyndryl, have enhanced their offering to be more flexible, giving us cloud-like qualities. For peak trade events like our VIP sale, we can more than double our capacity for an evening. On an ordinary day, we can increase our capacity in minutes in response to online demand. Our mainframe is a flexible and scalable platform. This is an overview of our mainframe environment today. We have all the usual suspects such as COBOL, DB2, KICS, as well as a 4GL, natural in our case, and its associated database Adabas. We have 4 LPARs, 2 production and 2 development. Like most mainframe sites, we have a selection of weird and wonderful museum PSEs, one of which is DTB COBOL. Large parts of the core system are written in this. We inherited it from Grattan. The developers like it as the source is well structured and easy to read. The problem though is that it's not directly supported by modern tooling. So recapping the story so far, we had started a website using our mainframe telephone order system as the ordering engine. However, as time went on, there were increasing challenges. Firstly, the telephone order system was designed around a call center that operated from 8 AM to 8 PM. So there was a requirement for longer operating hours. Getting to 23 3/4 by 7 wasn't too difficult, but we still needed a daily kicks bounce at 3 AM each morning to refresh the master files. And we also had a weekly maintenance slot on Sunday mornings. These were at a time of low demand in the UK, so weren't initially a problem. But once we went international, it became a problem, as 3 AM in the UK is lunchtime in Australia or evening in the US. There were other challenges as well. Integration was a big one. Windows and mainframe developers don't talk the same language. Windows developers don't understand mainframes. They want direct access to the data. Our mainframe had a non-relational database. Our main method of communication with the mainframe was MQ, which is a great product, but our Windows developers generally don't understand it. And there's technical debt there because there's a continuous upgrade cycle for the MQ clients. So the question was asked, was the mainframe fit for the 21st century? The mainframe developers were deemed less productive than Windows developers. There's a lack of modern tooling, non-standard languages, non-relational database, an aging population, perceived as difficult to access mainframe data from elsewhere, and applications were not available 24/7. So we explored many options, such as lift and shift to a non-mainframe platform. That didn't really solve any of the problems, just changing the line platform. We still had our non-standard languages and there was no improvement to productivity. How about converting to Java or C# using automated tooling? Again, there's many options out there, but how maintainable is the generated code? And web pages based on 3270 screens, I don't think really give much benefit. We decided this was all feasible, but very disruptive to achieve. We'd have to freeze development, which is what the development wants us to do, for several months. So in the end, our conclusion was yes, keep the mainframe and invest in it. Once the decision was made to invest in the mainframe, we started working on improving the system. As mentioned before, we had 2 periods where the online system was not available. Firstly, each night there was a set of updates to be applied from the batch run to the online files. All the KICS regions were stopped and the files were flipped and restarted, resulting in a 10 to 15 minute outage. This was redesigned so the KICS regions were bounced in a rolling sequence, one at a time, so maintaining online availability. It was a quick win. The second was the weekly Sunday maintenance slot. We only had one production LPAR at the time, so to resolve this, we had to introduce a second production LPAR and a parallel sysplex. This had been a much bigger change than the first and has taken longer. However, the PCs are now all in place, and shortly we will be able to eliminate the Sunday morning outage as well. We also invested in zip engines to reduce the general purpose processor usage. This is exploited by several products such as ZOS Connect, Adbas, Natural. The next area was developer productivity. We invested in new developer tools such as IDZ. Training is important with this. Some developers are keen to use new tools, some less so. However, these tools need to be mastered as they are required for further enhancements to productivity in the future as we introduce DevOps approaches. A prime area of focus was making it easier for the non-mainframe developers to access mainframe data. We adopted JSON REST APIs. Initially, we started with some homegrown tooling, but quickly moved to ZOS Connect EE when version 3 arrived. The mainframe developers are happy as it's very easy to use. It just plugs into the Eclipse tooling of IDZ. Most mainframe developers master it very quickly, an hour or two at most. The Windows developers are happy as they can talk to mainframe using something they use every day. We have also recently adopted API Connect as the corporate API gateway. This will be used as a corporate endpoint for APIs, not just the mainframe. The consumer of the API does not need to know they're using a mainframe. API Connect provides rate controls and additional security mechanisms not found in ZOS Connect. Also allows us to work around some of the restrictions that ZOS Connect imposes on API design. I was pleased to see Anthony Papageorgiou's presentation last week on the future of APIs on Z, that enhancements to ZOS Connect are on the way, including support for OpenAPI 3 and an API first approach. Most of the issues he discussed were familiar to me. On the whole, there's a huge growth area for us. You might ask about whether we considered using Java as a modern development language. We did. We enabled zip engines, we configured KICS Liberty JVMs, we implemented some pilot projects. Its big benefit initially was to create RESTful API wrappers around COBOL KICS applications. However, ZOS Connect has taken over that role. ZOS Connect is not as flexible as writing your own Java applications, but has the advantage a COBOL developer can be productive after 1 hour of training. The big inhibitor, though, was the lack of Java experience in the company. Our distributed developers are almost exclusively Microsoft-based. We also did some web projects for internal applications served entirely from the mainframe. But in future, most projects are likely to serve user interfaces from .NET and access mainframe data via APIs. So where next? Developer productivity is still a major focus. The business wants more new features in less time. DevOps will be a key part of this. The presentations here at GCC from other companies about their experiences are great examples of what can be done. Test environments are a major inhibitor for us at the moment. We see the ability to spin up and tear down test environments at will as a major step forward. ZOS container extensions also look like they could open up a lot of new opportunities for us. The key message, though, is that we will continue to modernize whilst continuing to develop applications. Earlier, I mentioned the Next platform as a major part of our business model, where we sell hundreds of different brands through our website, including the ability to order direct from third-party warehouses and for customers to return their orders via our shops. We've built on that now and have launched something called Total Platform. With this, we provide the package of custom branded website, warehousing, distribution, returns network, etc. This is now live for Victoria's Secret UK operation. Next year, Reese and Gap's UK operation will be going live. All this is driving continuing mainframe development. To support this, we need a scalable platform. Our mainframe service provides capacity on demand, and we can easily double our capacity on sale days. We also need integration with the cloud. Many of our non-mainframe applications are being redeveloped as cloud applications. The mainframe can easily handle this using APIs. Kyndryl recently moved our mainframe to the ARC data center in Farnborough, which has an express route to cloud. Mainframe development teams are continuing to grow. We now employ as many people in our technology teams as we do in our buying and merchandise departments, and our mainframe teams are very much a part of this and growing all the time. Our MIPS usage is continuing to grow. There's a direct relationship between CPU usage on the mainframe and online sales. In summary, the mainframe can only stay relevant if you invest in it. The mainframe and its applications have to adapt and evolve. It's the applications that make the mainframe important, not the platform itself. You have to remove the perceived barriers to using the mainframe. And a final reflection on legacy systems. They often get a bad press, but they're not necessarily a bad thing and can provide the rock on which to build your business. Thank you. Time for questions.
Ian, thank you very much. That was a very, very rapid tour de force of your history and everything. Thank you very much for that. Is there anybody out there with any questions? If you have, please just pop them in the chat window. Here you can enter your questions. There, I've made it easy for everybody. It should all pop up on your window so you see the chat window. Does anybody have any questions? And there's a fair few out there. Next is a great British brand. Do you face any cultural challenges in your modernisation efforts? That's one from Atul.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been too bad so far. As I say, some developers aren't keen on some of the new tooling. And I'm sure as we get into more DevOps approaches, there'll be needs to be more changes to the culture of the developers to adopt that and get the best out of it. But so far, it's not been too bad. But yeah, certainly we do recognise we've got to take the developers with us.
Okay, so we've got another one here, Ian, from Alexei. Who took the lead to introduce all this modernisation? A specific team, the sysprogs, all the developers, and I'm going to add, or somebody else?
Well, it's essentially me and my team were nominated to drive this process forward. So I've got a team of technical specialists working for me, and we've driven a lot of this forward in conjunction with IBM and now Kyndryl. So our sysprogs all work for IBM or Kyndryl as it is now is. So it's been a partnership with them. You know, we've said what we want to achieve, and then they've obviously gone away and designed things like, you know, building a parallel sysplex for us and installing DB2 and then new tools we want. So it's been very much a partnership between ourselves, our mainframe outsourcer, and you know, we keep our ear to ground, you know, coming to things like GSC to see what other people are doing and giving us ideas what to do.
Yeah. So if I summarise what you said there, Ian, yeah, you were given the baton by the business to go and sort this out. So you had to go and champion it, and then working with the relevant people in Next, and then your partner in IBM Kyndryl. That's how you've managed to deliver it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Atul said, would you like a discussion about DevOps adoption? I know that's one of his specialist subjects, Ian. So no doubt, I'm no doubt Atul will reach out to you. And then we've got a question from Jamie Pease. He said, is security in-house with Next or with Kyndryl?
Again, it's a bit split. We look after the security of our applications. Kyndryl have overall responsibility, I suppose, for mainframe security. And then in-house, we have our own information security team who are driving forward with standards and guidelines. And obviously, we need to see how the mainframe fits in with those corporate standards as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, Ian. And then we've got one from Donald, said, what was the session you mentioned on ZOS Connect and API 3?
Oh, yes, that was, I think it was session AM4. I think it was off the top of my head. It's called The Future of APIs on Z.
Okay.
So that was last week. I think last Thursday it was.
So let me just get to the agenda for you there. Let's have a quick look. AM4. No, not AM4, API. The future, so it was 4 AM, as in 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so it's 4 AM, the future of APIs on Z.
Yeah, I would recommend anyone who's using ZOS Connect goes watch that, because it's was interesting, because he discussed a lot of the issues we were having and then discussing what solutions IBM are coming up with to resolve those. Okay,
so folks, for those who do want to watch that, for the GSE members on the audience, that session will be on Vimeo sort of towards the end of next week, maybe the week after. So we need to upload all of these to Vimeo. So what you will see happen is on this agenda, you will see a little film reel appear, and that will be the link to the Vimeo. Unfortunately, that's only available to GSE member companies, because that's one of the benefits of the membership. So if you're not GSE members, become GSE members. It would be my pleasure to allow you to have access to all of this wonderful information. Thanks, Ian. Thanks for the questions. Colin, Knight, Ian, you mentioned quick responses to capacity demands. How quickly can you ramp up CPU?
With a telephone call, basically. Yeah, we've got standard procedures in place. We obviously monitor CPU when our 4-hour rolling average is approaching something like 97 or 98%, and it's still going up. Then our operations will ring up Kyndryl operations and say, "Can you put on some more MIPS for us?"
So what is that? It's like a 30-minute SLA, 15-minute SLA, would you say?
I mean, in practice, it's just a few minutes normally.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, obviously, there's certain peak events where we know we're going to go over our normal baseline, and that's pre-planned. For instance, when we have our VIP sale, we will add the MIPS on about an hour before, just so it's all ready.
Yeah. As somebody who's got a wife and 3 daughters, Ian, I can absolutely say they contribute to the increase in MIPS requirements.
I'm glad to hear it.
And Colin has said, "Can I have that telephone number, please?" Oh dear, brilliant. You could do with some CPU, yeah, couldn't we all? Do we have any more questions for Ian? Great to have this bit of interaction. Fabulous. Okay, I think we might have exhausted all of the questions, Ian. Ian, thank you very much for taking the time to prepare this session for us. It's always very difficult for us to get real end users to come and talk to us about what they've been doing, usually because they're all very busy in the day job. So I know that's I know it's taking a while to put the slides together and get all this sorted. So thank you very much for that. Please, everybody, fill in the feedback forms. Give us as much feedback as you possibly can, and give Ian some great marks, because it'd be wonderful to have some real end users win these best speaker awards that we keep having. So Ian, we've got some great comments and some great feedback. Ian, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody attending. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Cheers, Ian. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.